RPG here. Today I'm going to show you guys around the Hyperkin Duke original style Xbox controller. So what we'll do today is we're going to take a closer look at the controller itself, go over the different functions and features, and then we're going to actually use this on Batocera on my HP Pavilion gaming PC. We'll jump into some original Xbox games and test out this controller to check its performance. Let's get started. Alright, so here we have the Hyperkin Duke original style Xbox controller. You can see we got that retro sort of Xbox color feel to it, very similar to that of the initial boot screen that you see on the original Xbox game. So let's open this up, let's see what we got inside. Alright, so we got two little pieces of paper here. This is a start guide, quick start guide. Take a look at that real quick. Plug the provided micro USB cable into the micro USB cable port located on the top of your Hyperkin Duke. Blah, blah, blah. Works on Xbox One and Windows 10 PC. So I'm using a HP Pavilion gaming PC, so I'm hoping this is going to work with Batocera, but worst case, I do have an Xbox One right here, so we can test it out on there if it doesn't work on the PC. But usually when they say Windows 10 PC, that means it's going to work on any PC. So here we have the actual controller. Looks to be wireless, but there is a cable inside, and I do believe you need to have that plugged in at all times. So you're going to have that retro sort of feel to it there, being that it is not going to be like a Bluetooth gamepad controller. As far as I know anyways, I haven't seen anything on here that says Bluetooth, so I do believe this is our cable. Super long cable, good indication that we are going to be using this. So just looking at this, it instantly takes me back. This is massive. So this is clearly the original Xbox. You can see by the layout here. We have our A, X, B, and Y buttons here, obviously laid out very differently than that of a Super Nintendo controller. So if you're not familiar with these original Xbox controllers, definitely pay close attention to these button functions up here, because if you're coming in off like that Super Nintendo sort of setup, you'll be hitting the wrong buttons when prompted on screen. We also have the white and black buttons up here. This is all off the original Xbox. You don't have that on the later Xbox controller models. We also have our start and select down here. Obviously dual analog sticks with the button functions, D-pad down here. This really just is a blast from the past in so many ways. Trigger buttons up here. Looks to be some shoulder buttons here. I actually don't remember having shoulder buttons on the original Xbox controller, but I could be blanking. I think that we used these buttons in place of those. I'll have to double check on that, but really very much like the original in every way. We're going to flip this over, make sure we're not missing anything down here. Nope, no functions down here. This is our connection for the cable we'll be using to connect this to the PC. We also, it looks to be a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack right here. So they kind of kept that in line with the Xbox One style controllers that we have today. Since this is compatible, that does make sense. And then this right here is actually supposed to be a little screen. So I'm going to take the little sticker off of that, and once we fire this up, we'll take a closer look here. But my understanding is that we're supposed to get a Xbox logo that kind of populates in here, and kind of looks like a TV screen. So definitely looking forward to checking that out. I think that'll be a lot of fun to see how that pans out. But all in all, really a retro sort of feel here, and I can't wait to jump into some classic Xbox games with this, and just kind of recreate that original feel to everything. So we're going to fire this up with Batocera real quick, see if everything does actually, in fact, set up on there. And then we're going to jump into some original Xbox games and test this bad boy out. Alright, so since we have our original style Xbox controller, let's jump into an Xbox game. And first one here is Amp 2, one of my favorites. Let's check it out. All right, let's give it a go. See what we got.
Oh yeah, that's a comer. Faster, fool! Oh yeah! Let him have it, yo! Come on, get cracking! Oh yeah, work that back! Rub some style on it, yo! Hey, big on him. The wax is working! Oh. Spin it! Oh. Ow!
Alright, so we took a closer look at the Hyperkin Duke original style Xbox controller, and we first took a look at the layout and controls on here. So everything about the controls is on point for an original Xbox style controller. We do have some additional buttons on there because you can use this with the Xbox One console. So they've added in some of the buttons from that as well, so you'd be able to play modern day games with this if you wanted to. Now, I think that the real value here is playing original Xbox games with this. It's not a slim and compact controller like a Xbox One or some of the newer Xbox controllers are. We know that going in though. We know that 20 plus years ago, the original Xbox controller was pretty chunky, pretty massive, but that's what I wanted. I wanted to jump into some classic games like Halo, Amped, and all that. I wanted to play with the original controller and have that original feel as best I can. So this definitely achieves that. Now, the quality here is exceptional. There's nothing cheaply made about this. There's no issues with buttons. There's no lags. There's no sticky buttons. There's just nothing that would raise any red flags to me whatsoever. I love the analog sticks performance on here. You saw that when I was jumping into the snowboarding game Amped 2. I was able to navigate perfectly. Just love the feel of this. Cannot say it enough. Now, the little video screen that you have in the center of it is awesome. Now that's obviously going to be just like a bonus thing. It doesn't hinder the performance or affect the performance in any way. So that's obviously a secondary thing, but it's really cool to see, when you first power this on, that you go through that initial boot up screen that you would when jumping into an original Xbox game. Just gives you the nostalgia, a little bit of a throwback sort of feature to it, and I love it. I think it's really cool. It obviously only does that when you first power it on, and then it morphs into the Xbox logo, which stays on there consistently as long as you have it powered on. So really cool things involved with this. They've taken the original Xbox controller and kind of modernized it a little bit with, like I said, the different buttons, and then you have the audio jack on there, you have the shoulder buttons on there. So it's cool that you still maintain that original feel with some additional functions that would make it able to play with modern day games as well. Now you could take this controller and play like PlayStation games with it, Nintendo Entertainment System games, all that good stuff too. Not sure that you'd want to do that. I personally wouldn't. That's just me though. You certainly could. But the fact that we can do that is awesome. You could easily play PlayStation games because you have all of the same functions on there. It's a little different of a layout, but do you. Whatever you want to do, you can absolutely do with this. So I'd highly recommend it for pretty much any use because it's going to fire on all cylinders no matter what you do with this controller. So highly recommend it. I'm going to put a direct link in the description of this video so you can click down there, get additional information if you'd like, but that's going to do it for today. So if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button for me. Be sure to subscribe to the RetroPie Guy YouTube channel. I do a ton of videos on here based on retro gaming, product reviews, gameplay demos, tutorials, Forgotten Favorites YouTube series every Monday and Thursday night, and a lot of really cool stuff coming in the very near future. So best way to stay in the loop is to subscribe to the channel. That's going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching.